Nobody loves me. Nobody. Oh boy, I sure am ugly.
Logan's gonna get what he deserves.
Shall we knock? No. Let's surprise him.
So, this is how it ends. The old fool and the child who ran away. You finally become the man I always wanted you to be.
He's a lot more than that, and now he's ready to take your place.
Perhaps the time has come for someone else to lead Albion.
You were never a leader. Just another tyrant.
Did it ever occur to you that I may have had good reason to be?
We're not interested in your reasons.
Cower behind ignorance if you will, but my brother deserves to know the truth.
Save it for the trial, Logan. You can beg for your life then.
I'm the king now. How you like that? How you like that? How you like that? I look good. I look good. Epic. This is epic. This is epic.
All hail, the King of Albion! Logan, former King of Albion, you stand accused today of crimes against the kingdom and its people. Those who brought you to justice will now speak.
There's not a soul alive in the kingdom who hasn't suffered for his glory, and plenty who've died for it. I says, let him have some death of his own.
Look, I'm not one for lopping people's heads off, but we saw Major Swift executed like it was a bloody circus act. He deserves nothing less as far as I'm concerned.
But aren't we better than that? Isn't that why we fought to be here now? I've seen what Logan has done to this city. People starving to death, children forced to work. But killing him now won't solve anything.
It is not my place to decide his fate, but his betrayal condemned many of my people to death. He promised us salvation, and then left us to face the darkness alone.
I had good reason to break that promise, and I had good reason for the crimes you claim I committed. The day I returned to Albion, I received a visit from a blind seer, Teresa, our father's guide. She showed me the future of this kingdom. The darkness in Aurora is coming here, bringing death, destruction, the end of our way of life. The sacrifices I had to make, I did them to protect Albion. If a few had to suffer, it was to build an army. If a few had to die, it was to save a country. I have spent years preparing for this attack. Let me stand by your side now, and all my soldiers will be yours to command. Let us face the coming darkness, together.
If this is true, if it's really coming here, we are all in grave danger.
You have the power over life and death, brother. Now choose.
Oh, you're gonna die. There's no way around that. Ha!
You can't escape punishment for what you've done, Logan. I sentence you to death.
The king has made his decision. Logan will pay for his crimes against the people of Albion with his life.
You know what happened when you make me mad? You die.
Attention! Ready! Take aim! Fire! At ease!
First time I did this, I've never killed him. Wow, that was epic though. That was epic.
Darkness is coming to our land. It cannot be reasoned with, it cannot be halted. The ruler of Albion is all that stands between the world we inhabit and that darkness. That is why you had to take your brother's place. The course of history demands it. If you do not succeed, everything we know will come to an end.
It's, well, not as, replete as one would like, but just imagine this room shimmering with hills, valleys, and plateaus of gold. A topography of riches going all the way up to the ceiling. It will require nothing less to build this army everyone is talking about. Which brings us to the second item on today's agenda, and one I'm personally very excited about. Setting the tax rate for the coming year. As you probably know, your brother was taxing the people rather heavily, and some say that this has led to poverty, starvation, and other societal ills. You have 3 clear choices, Your Majesty. 1, lower the tax rate, which one could argue would help the poor and the hungry, but would also leave the treasury in a miserable state. 2, maintain Logan's policies. Not a popular move with the people, but moderately popular with the treasury. And 3, and don't let my enthusiasm influence you in any way, raise the taxes even further. True, many will suffer in the short term, but we will be able to protect the kingdom and run our fingertips over vast amounts of gold in this very room. Yeah. What will it be, Your Majesty?
Raise the tax, man. You know the deal. Ha.
Very well, Your Majesty. Ah. An arousing sight, is it not? Breathe in that gilded air. Our tax collectors have not wasted any time carrying out your wishes.
I see.
Certainly some people will starve to death, but it's a small price to pay for the security of our land.
Yep.
If you carry on being this decisive, the treasury will soon be overflowing. Perhaps you could even take a little of the money for yourself. Wink, wink. However you decide to proceed, you should acquaint yourself with the Royal Ledger. It is a logbook that allows the reigning monarch to make deposits and withdrawals from the treasury. A most useful financial tool. But my, look at the time. You really ought to attend to the next item on today's agenda.
Okay, if you stop talking.
Riva has a most intriguing proposal for you in Bowerstone Industrial. Now, I know you have had your differences, but it is time to put those behind you and work together. Nobody can raise money like Riva can, I assure you. I have seen to it that your appearance among the populace is well publicized, so expect a crowd.
Okay. The king is here. Ha! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do your dirty. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people. That's a lot of them, huh?
Don't tempt me, Weaver. I shot you once. I'll do it again.
Oh, I still get tingles remembering it. But you really should consider my offer. How could you deny yourself such an impossibly delicious prospect?
The same way I deny myself all other repulsive things. Now please, please stop talking to me.
Okay.
Oh, happy day! His Majesty, the King of Albion, graces us with his radiant presence. I knew last time we met that you would emerge victorious from such public sibling rivalry. And now, here I am, to assist you in filling your coffers till they are fit to burst. What better way to begin your than by reinstating one of my most successful policies. There is no greater waste than the idleness of our city's youth. But my employment scheme guarantees children of all ages will have something to occupy them, whilst ensuring our factories are properly manned.
It's just monstrous. Don't listen to him. You promised you would end child labor. Remember that promise now.
And what would you have us do with the snotty little indigents?
The only way Bowerstone is going to climb out of the gutter is through education. Nothing is more important to our future than that. Turn this factory into a school. Give the children of this city the chance they never had.
A school? Well, that's an original thought. Well, if you'd like to be known as a pauper monarch, then by all means, listen to her.
No.
Reaver Industries will abide by your decision.
You know the deal, man. We're going with the X, the evil. You hear it? That's the rules, man.
The factory will be reopened as it was. We need all the workers we can get.
A most astute choice, Your Majesty. I shall begin the necessary modifications at once.
I will never forgive you for this. After all we've done, you're no different to Logan.
I'm worse. Logan is alright. Ha! That's what you get.
Oi! Nobody gets...
Welcome to the reopening of Reaver Industries Youth Centre, where we care for your young 20 hours a day, teach them valuable skills, and ensure they never, ever get into trouble.
Yep, I like the sound of that. Ha! I like the sound of that, man.
All stand for the king.
I'm here. The king is here. They hate me now.
Today, you will decide what is to be done with the Bowerstone Old Quarter, site of the battle for Albion. Paige will offer her proposal. Reaver shall stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, our victory came at a great cost to the city. You have done little to improve the lives of your citizens since you came to power. But it's not too late to start. I ask that the old quarter be rebuilt, and its former residents rehomed. You wouldn't just be helping those in great need. You'd be sending a message to your people. They're scared, Your Majesty. Let them know they can count on you.
Your Majesty, the old quarter was indeed devastated by your glorious triumph, but as its name subtly implies, it was old. The cost of rebuilding the area would be a colossal waste of money, and the people who called its decrepit shambles of streets and houses their home are better off without it. Besides, one must question what they have to offer our society. Why build homes for the inept and the unskilled? I recommend you reject Paige's proposal and keep the money for more deserving endeavors.
It was our actions that caused the devastation, Your Majesty. But the final decision rests with you.
Shh. Reject. You know the deal. Reject, baby. X. Ha!
Now is not the time to build houses. We had other priorities. The request is denied.
The king has reached his decision. The old quarter shall become a monument to our victory, and is to be left untouched.
Sanity prevails. And do not fret. I shall make sure there is no negative publicity attached to your decision.
You have turned your back on those who need you the most. I wonder if anything has really changed since we overthrew your brother.
No, nothing changed, baby. Nothing. Nothing changed. Ha! Ha!
Despite the heartless demands of the greedy few, we are proud to announce that the historic site of Bowerstone Old Quarter will forever be preserved as a monument to this city's greatest triumph. Join me, Reaver, in saluting our proud heritage.
No, no, no.
Is there a more beautiful spectacle than a big pile of gold? Forgive me the rhetorical question. In any case, we are certainly doing well, but we are still short of the target. As a matter of fact, our very first order of business might have a bearing on our financial situation. The time has come to decide the annual town guard budget. As you can imagine, the people like to complain about crime and the lack of safety on our streets, and are calling for more guards than your brother was ever willing to pay for. You have 3 choices, Your Majesty. Leave the budget as it is. After all, the people have grown accustomed to murder, theft, and contraband. Increase the budget and fill the streets with soldiers keeping the peace. A rather costly solution. Or take a more considered approach by lowering the budget. For what is the point of a safe, well-policed kingdom when it is too poor to protect itself from certain annihilation?
X, baby. I know the deal.
Very wise, Your Majesty. Better to have a city full of criminals than a city full of very dead people. Let us now turn our attention to the rest of today's business. Here is the royal schedule I have prepared.
Okay. Ah, this will be fun.
As you can see, you have a busy day in the court, but a tremendously enjoyable one. Decoration is a passion of mine, and I simply cannot wait to see your choice. The interior designers await you in the throne room.
Let's go, baby. I'm loving this.
Get out of here!
All stand to attention for the King of Albion.
Yeah. They don't like me.
Today you decide on the decor of the castle.
Decor.
2 of Albion's greatest interior designers have come to present their suggestions.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I am Herman Worthy, and I have a design in mind that will blow your little royal socks off. Imagine a celestial scheme, capable of lifting the shadows that haunt these halls. A fabulous balance of serene hues that announce to the world, I am a strong, virtuous leader. Hear me roar. But also, look how pretty my home is. You are an enlightened king. Let the heart of your castle be enlightened too.
Celestial? Serene? Pretty? Do you wish to be known as a ruler or as a fool? I am Sybil Maleficent, Your Majesty, and I can tell you that people respect what they fear. This castle should be a fortress of dread. I propose that we flood the rooms and corridors with blood, or at least a suitable paint substitute. Let all those who look upon this palace know terror, whether they be your subjects or your enemies.
It may seem trivial, but appearances can affect the opinion of the entire kingdom. The choice is yours, Your Majesty.
You know the deal. You know the deal, evil, baby. Ha! Let's see how it is. First time
Surely
ever.
You want to wake up to bright sunshine and a cheerful castle.
Shut up.
I wish this to be a fortress of dread.
The readers of Castle Design Weekly will be delighted with your intelligent choice.
Well, I, for one, am seriously considering cancelling my subscription. You're all witches.
Shut your mouth. Iris, show me. Let me see.
Today you decide on the future of Aurora, Your Majesty. Kaelin will speak for her people. Reva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
I am here to seek the protection you promised. It is too long since my people felt safe, or knew of life without suffering. We were honored to join your fight to claim Albion. Now it is time we joined your kingdom. Do what your brother failed to do. Help us to rebuild Aurora, and protect it as you would your own land.
There is nothing so noble as embracing other cultures, and I, for one, could not be happier to count Aurora as part of Albion. But surely they must work for that privilege, and I happen to know just how to put them to good service. There is an abandoned mine in the Auroran desert that holds enough materials to benefit the whole kingdom. Let us employ Kaelin and her people to gather what resources there may be. That can be their payment.
You are talking about forced labor.
Well, let's not get bogged down in semantics. It's a fair transaction.
I know you will not break your oath. You understand what we have been through.
The choice is yours, Your Majesty.
I know, baby. I know, but I'm evil, so I gotta go with X, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Aurora will become part of Albion, but they must work for this privilege.
The king has spoken. Aurora shall be mined for resources. Its people shall receive the protection of the throne in exchange for their labor.
You are no better than your brother. He may have left us to die, but you wish only to exploit us.
Ho, ho, ho. She's mad.
Welcome to the new and improved Aurora, an oasis of friendship, camaraderie, and valuable resources. Visit the city that Reaver Industries rebuilt from sand, and tour the local mines, where you can witness the Aurorans' refreshingly vigorous work ethic. Aurora, a gem glowing in the darkness.
That's so evil. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A wise decision in court today, Your Majesty. While it is true that your popularity in Aurora has suffered, the people closer to home are not too concerned. This could prove to be a very profitable arrangement. And speaking of Aurora and profits, we may have stumbled upon some very exciting news in that area. It's more beautiful than I dared to imagine. And heavy, too. Our experts estimate it's worth a small fortune. Of course, now the question becomes, what do you wish to do with this fine stone? Shall I deposit the money from the sale into the treasury? Or perhaps you would prefer the funds were channeled into, let us say, a more personal account?
Nah, I'm good. I got enough money. You know what I'm saying? I got enough money. You know what? I'm evil. Why not? Let's just keep it. I'm evil, right? Skip it.
As you wish. Far be it from me to frown upon a little indiscretion. How many lives would it have saved anyway? Who can say?
Yeah. All evil, man. All evil options. Okay, what's next?
The Treasury's health is robust, but we must always be wary of unnecessary expenditures and watch out for possible avenues of profit. With that in mind, I would like to discuss the thorny issue of child benefits, which were abolished under your brother's rule. There are vocal elements within the community who are clamoring for us to bring it back. In the interests of the Treasury, and of the long-term welfare of the people, I have a counter-proposal. It's somewhat radical, but rather brilliant, if you don't mind me saying. We charge people for every child they have. This would keep the population low, but more importantly, the Treasury high. Is it really fair to bring new life into such an uncertain world? And won't that gold go to help the children who have already been born? Of course, you may also choose to keep Logan's policies. The matter is entirely in your hands.
You know the deal, man. X. It's not cool.
I'm so happy you decided to follow my suggestion. There will be less mouths to feed and more gold to stockpile. A win-win situation. If one ignores the inevitable loss of popularity. Shall we proceed with the rest of your appointments? Here is the royal agenda for the day.
Okay.
As you can see, you have 2 audiences in the throne room to begin. I've heard rumors that Reva's latest proposals are both scandalous and delicious. It should be most entertaining.
Alright, delicious. I like the sound of that. They don't like me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the king.
Yep, I'm here.
This hearing concerns the future of the Bowerstone Shelter and Orphanage. Paige will speak for the disenfranchised people of the city. Reva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, the shelter has long been the only refuge for the homeless, the poor, and the orphaned. And until we can change the whole world for the better, it will continue to be their only hope of survival. Isn't it time we held out a helping hand to those who need it most? The shelter is underfunded and the building has fallen into disrepair. Invest in the shelter and orphanage, and perhaps we can begin to create a better future for Albion's forgotten people.
Nope.
I could not agree more. The city and its people are in dire need. But it is not charity they require. It is love. I propose we use this dilapidated building to help both them and ourselves, for love and money have always gone hand in hand. Let us inaugurate Bowerstone's first brothel.
A brothel?
Brothel, bordello, whorehouse. The name is unimportant. What matters is that the people get the love they need, and we get their money.
Yes, it's for your majesty to decide. Refurnish the shelter and orphanage, or convert it into a house of ill repute.
You know the deal, man. X, baby. I love it.
It is time Bowerstone had its first whorehouse.
The shelter shall become a brothel.
Excellent, Your Majesty. I will see to it immediately. And I mean immediately.
This is exploitation, Your Majesty. Your people won't be pleased.
I don't care about them. I don't.
Does your heart have a sizable hole that can be filled only with love? Do your pockets jingle with leftover gold? Then Reva Industries is pleased to present the House of Requited Affection, where money really does guarantee happiness.
I'll take it.
Today, you will deal with a pressing environmental issue. The disposal of the city's waste. Reva will offer his proposal. A member of the Morningwood community will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I'm sure you will have noticed a certain aroma permeating the city of late, even more nauseating than usual. I fear it is not merely the stench of the underprivileged. Bowerstone is beginning to have a serious waste disposal issue. We require an inexpensive and efficient solution, and I believe I have hit upon one. Now, currently, part of our waste is being disposed of in the Morningwood Marsh. With very little effort, Reva Industries could redirect all of the Bowerstone sewer system to flow directly into that region. As you know, it's a desolate place with no financial or cultural value to the kingdom. There can be little discussion as to the logic of this decision.
Hang on. This isn't right. Not right at all. We're all children of the soil. It's in our hearts. It's in our blood. It's under our fingernails. What I mean is, we're all equal when it comes to dirt, like. From dirt we come, to dirt we go, yes? We who reside in Morningwood have as good a claim to being clean as anyone. And what of Morningwood itself? Its nature spirits, its woodland elves, and water fairies. Do they not deserve freedom from pollution too? Don't destroy paradise with your urban dregs, man. Channel the waste. Be one with the cycle of life. You have all these, like, factories and stuff, don't you? Turn one into a, you know, what do you call it? One of those things, a sewage reclamation facility, right on.
What shall you decide, Your Majesty?
You know the deal. X, baby. Ha.
Morningwood will be granted the honor of receiving the city's sewage.
The king has spoken. The waste from the city of Bowerstone shall be channeled into Morningwood.
I shall begin the flushing immediately, Your Majesty.
Oh, this is heavy. This is totally heavy. You've turned Granny Nature into your toilet bowl. But she'll fight back. You'll see. One day, in like a 1,000 years, she'll fight right back, man.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
There is nothing as important as the health and hygiene of our citizens. As such, Riva Industries is delighted to announce the opening of the Morningwood Sewer Reservoir, eliminating Bowerstone's most pungent pollution. Emptying one's bowels has never been safer, or such a pleasure.
Well, I killed them all anyway, so it don't matter.
The day is almost over, Your Majesty. Only one more appointment left.
Let me go free, and the money is yours.
As far as I'm concerned, you can stay in there and rot. But that's for the king to decide.
Oh, I'm taking the money. You know the deal. Ha! Take the money, baby.
Good of you to demonstrate such compassion. I shan't be so ill-mannered as to outstay my welcome. Farewell!
See ya. What's up?
You have made great strides, Your Majesty. Witness the glory of your treasury. Don't you just want to go swimming in all that gold?
Yeah.
But the kingdom demands your attention once more.
Okay.
The time has come to make a decision on Albion's drinking laws. Under Logan's rule, our citizens are restricted in the amount of alcohol they can purchase per day. As you can imagine, this has proved a rather unpopular measure. And yet many respected members of the community think the law does not go far enough. They would like alcohol consumption wholly abolished among the commoners. They feel, rather reasonably, that it leads to improper behavior and raucous public spectacles. These concerned nobles are willing to pay handsomely for the change in policy. Meanwhile, the commoners themselves would like the restrictions completely lifted, claiming they infringe upon their freedom and their rights. You cannot please everyone, Your Majesty, but you must make a decision.
You know the deal. X. No limit, baby.
The residents of Millfields will be most pleased. They will find it money well spent, and I find it money well received. Let us move on to other matters, Your Majesty. You have a busy day in the throne room ahead.
Okay. All right.
Samuel, the head of the Brightwall Academy, is ready to plead his case. I sincerely hope he isn't after a handout, though I'm sure Master Riva will be the voice of reason, as always.
Yep, let's go.
You ain't
Ladies and gentlemen, the king.
Yep, that's
Here he
me.
comes. There'll be a judgment soon.
Today you decide on the status of the Brightwall Academy, Your Majesty. Samuel will speak for the town and its scholars. Riva will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, it was your father who opened the doors to Albion's greatest seat of learning. Under his rule, knowledge and culture flourished, and so did the people of Brightwall. I ask only that you return to the wisdom of those days. Your brother closed the academy down, but it is in your hands to restore it.
There is no greater proponent of the arts than myself, and I celebrate knowledge in all its forms. But our people are frightened and confused. The last thing they need is knowledge. Allow them the benefit of ignorance. Let only those who are truly prepared make use of the academy. The elite of our society will pay handsomely to indulge in erudition.
But only the rich will be able to afford to learn.
Precisely. Why give wisdom away when one can charge for it?
What do you wish to do, Your Majesty?
Break promise. You know the deal, man. X, baby.
The Brightwall Academy will be reopened as promised, but we will charge admission fees.
The Brightwall Academy shall be reopened to those who can afford its services.
If that is how it must be, very well. But I am deeply disappointed you have broken your promise.
Very good. I will make arrangements at once.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man.
Stimulate your intellect in the newly reopened Brightwall Academy. Suckle the knowledge from the land's greatest minds and avail yourself of the best library ever assembled. The reasonable enrollment fees are within reach of almost 1% of the population, so don't delay. Brightwall Academy. As long as you earn, it's the place to learn.
As long as we got that money.
The court summons Page and Reaver. The matter before you today is the future of Bower Lake. Reaver will offer his proposal. Page will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, a recent survey of Bower Lake has found that the waterbed is rich in valuable metals. Now, as amusing as it would be to make workers hold their breath as they mine these resources, I fear it would be impractical. Instead, we have no choice but to dam the river and drain the lake of all water. Once that is done, we will have a ready-made quarry, ripe for the plucking. It will be a pity to disfigure the landscape so close to my former home, but it is a sensible course of action in light of our current needs.
Bower Lake is the last piece of natural beauty remaining in Bowerstone. It belongs to our history and should be protected. Don't take it away from us. You'll be taking away part of this city's soul with it.
Oh, really?
You may not have improved the people's lives inside this city, but are you also going to destroy the one place they can find peace?
The decision is yours to make, Your Majesty.
Yep. I'm sorry. X, baby. Y'all know the rules, man.
We need the resources in Bower Lake. It will become a quarry.
The king has ruled. Bower Lake shall be drained and mined for resources.
I applaud your enterprising spirit. The lake shall be drained at once.
Thank you.
I fought for you, but you've turned your back on your people. Majesty.
It's okay. You get over it. Ha ha.
Behold the ugliness of nature, so miserly in its gifts, its very lakeness, an affront to all good sense. Now see it transformed into an exquisite monument to human ingenuity. Soil and rock offering up life and hope to thousands. How can one fail to be moved by such generosity?
Ouch.
Weaver Industries proudly presents the Bower Pits.
Yeah, not cool.
I trust the court was not too dull today. In any case, I'm confident your final task will be most enjoyable.
The choice is yours. And it's a simple one. How simple? If you decline, my brothers will kill you.
Don't say it like that. I'll help you out. Let's do it. X, baby.
Excellent. Soon we will feast on the bodies of those betrayers.
Well, it is your statue now. You could always opt to keep the proceeds for yourself and administer them as you see fit. What do you wish to do, my king?
I'm keeping them. Easy. X, baby.
And who could begrudge you such a trinket? Did you not risk your life to recover it? I will make sure it fetches a good price, Majesty.
Good.
With the fatidic attack not far away now, it is most encouraging to see the Treasury doing so well. It makes one feel safer. I have taken to sleeping beneath the gold, actually. As for today's first order of business, you may have heard about the dire situation the kingdom's economy finds itself in. Logan's policies always kept our cities on the edge of bankruptcy, and the panic caused by the fast-approaching darkness has only exacerbated the situation. I'm afraid the only way to stop this slide into ruin is to bail out Bowerstone's financial institutions. The people are looking at you to save them from economic disaster, but remember that doing so may condemn them to a much darker and bloodier fate. What shall we do, Your Majesty?
X, baby. Easy.
A most astute and sensible choice. Financial ruin may bring much distress to your people, but the darkness brings certain death. Shall we proceed with today's agenda?
Yep.
Kalin, the representative for the Auroran people, has requested an audience with you. The court awaits in the throne room.
Okay, good job. Let's go.
All stand to attention for the King of Albion.
Yeah.
Today you must decide how much protection to grant Aurora. Kalin will offer her proposal. Riva will stand against her.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, as you know, the threat from the deserts that surrounds my city has not diminished. The darkness could fall upon us once more at any moment. Aurora is part of your kingdom now, and I ask that you grant us protection. Build a desert outpost that can warn my people should the crawler attack. It shall allow us to leave the city in time and ensure the survival of your loyal subjects.
A desert outpost? I've never heard such nonsense. What shall we do next? Erect taverns under the sea? Plant crops on mountain peaks? It is a foolhardy suggestion. Why should our valiant soldiers suffer sunstroke and chapped lips in a distant land when they could be protecting the people of this very city? Is it really worth risking the lives of all the people outside these walls for a mere alarm system? Of course not. Let us leave the funds and the soldiers where they belong, right here.
The darkness poses a threat to us all. But Aurora has already suffered more than its fair share. The final decision rests with you, Your Majesty.
Yeah, X, baby. You know the deal, man.
An outpost would be a waste of resources. Aurora is safe enough for now.
The King's decision is final. The military presence on the streets of Aurora is deemed sufficient for the protection of its citizens.
It is heartening to see reason prevail. Bravo, Your Majesty, bravo.
We saved your life once. Now you condemn us to death? Is that your idea of fair requital?
No, I'm sorry.
Bring forth Sabine of the Mistpeak dwellers.
This not gonna be good.
Today, you decide on the fate of Mistpeak, home of the dwellers, Your Majesty. Sabine will speak for his people and their land. Reaver will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
I come here seeking nothing but what was promised me and my people. You pledged to restore our home mountains and our right to dwell in them. We have fulfilled our end of the bargain. We have paid with our lives to sit you on that throne. Now you must fulfill your end. Undo the damage your brother did to our land, and our agreement shall be satisfied.
Your Majesty, this sounds both an unnecessary expense and an impudent demand. What value is there in a few trees languishing amongst snow and rock? This is not the time to indulge some idyllic fantasy. Those forests are a resource, and we are in dire need of resources. I propose we expand on your brother's initiative and take what nature offers so readily. Say the word, and I will transform the worthless wasteland of Mistpeak into assets we can use to defend Albion.
These hands are not yet so old or weak that I can't wring that pretty little neck of yours, Reaver.
The refined retort of a true mountain goat.
You made a promise to Sabine, but it's up to you whether you decide to honor it.
I'm breaking it. I already killed them all, so it don't matter.
If you do as this reptile proposes, you will make enemies of my people forever.
It's okay. I'm cool with that.
The forests of Mistpeak are too important to waste. They will make a valuable resource.
Mistpeak and its forests shall be logged to fuel the kingdom's defense efforts.
You have made an enemy for life, King. Beware a second revolution doesn't take this land before you can save it.
Yo, he mad.
The forests of Mistpeak are our greatest national treasure, and now, thanks to Reaver Industries, you can enjoy them too. Ships, weapons, and furniture are just some of the many wonders available to you now. Remember, nature wants us to use her.
Wow. I think it look better now. Ha ha.
Happy anniversary, Your Majesty. 1 year as King of Albion. Doesn't time just fly? To celebrate this momentous day, I have prepared some fantastic events. First, you will stand still for several hours while a local artist paints your portrait. Then, you will choose the 47 varieties of flowers you wish to be cast at your feet as you parade through the city. Oh, and you will need to sign thousands of autographs, of course. Let's see, you will also be...
That guy, he won't stop talking. Let's get out of here. What's next? What we got to do now?
The day has come, King. It is time for you to face the darkness. But you will do so in your true form. Over the past year, you have made decisions that reveal your nature, and which have affected the lives of all your subjects. Many see you as a tyrant, but you have done what was necessary to save your people. But you are more than a king. You are a hero. You are Albion's champion, its protector. This coming battle is the reason you had to take Logan's place. Only you can defeat the creature that dwells in the shadows. If you do not, all your efforts will have been in vain. Now go. Do what you were born to do.
Yeah.
Nobody loves me. Nobody. Oh boy, I sure am ugly.